So let's now import a number of files into our project. Suppose we're working on this research project and we want to understand the impact of the COVID-19 crisis on poverty in different parts of the world. So what we're going to do first is to look for sources, or in the NVivo language, files that we can import, and so in which we can analyze in order to answer our research question. So what you normally do is you start with a search through the literature. So let's say we start by seeing whether any academic literature, any academic articles have already been published on this topic. So what I did was I previously went to Google Scholar and I searched for COVID-19 plus poverty, and I came across a number of course, recent articles which I have downloaded and I have gathered in this folder. So I have here a folder in my documents, NVivo exercise, in which I have 6 different academic articles which I downloaded. So this is my part of the literature review that I acquired through a Google Scholar search. Now, apart from these sources, of course, there's also undoubtedly a lot of online information that we can gather. So let's have a look at how to do this, because this is something that you will that will be useful for all of you actually. So I did a Google search for COVID and poverty, very simple. And now NVivo allows you to capture the content of those web pages and import this content in NVivo. But in order for this to be possible, you do need to download the nCapture extension and add it to your web browser. So if just looking back here at the NVivo project, so import, you see that nCapture is the feature that allows you to import web content. Yeah. So probably it's not yet installed on your computer, so you can just Google here. You can Google for nCapture, how to install nCapture on Google Chrome. Or another browser, you'll have to Google how to do it. But here you see that in my case, it has previously been added as an extension, so I can here opt to remove it from Chrome, which I don't want to do. So in your case, you will be able here to add it to Google Chrome. And so you see now here on the top right that, this is the nCapture icon that has been added to the toolbar. Yeah. So let's go back to our Google search here on COVID-19 and poverty. So let's say, okay, this looks interesting, this article on the World Economic Forum website. So let's click on it. We can capture the content. So you go to this icon and capture, you capture the content. Now it gives you 2 possibilities: either capture the web page as a PDF, which should capture all the layout of the web page with all the pictures, etc. And then article as PDF captures just the text. In my experience, the web page as PDF function does not always work very well. It might look very messy when imported in NVivo. So I always opt for article as PDF. So you'll see that it switches to a text view. You can capture this. So you just click on capture. It gives a little notification that it's being captured, and it will be found under your downloads. So let's go back to my search. Is there something else? Oh, this article from Los Angeles Times looks interesting. So you click on it, you go to the icon and capture. You capture article as PDF. You click on capture. Okay, so this web page as well has been captured. So it's not yet imported in NVivo. This will be a next step. But we're now doing our search. Okay, this one is interesting as well. Article as PDF capture. So I have now captured 3 different web pages, and of course you can go on and on. So I have my information from the web sites and I have my journal articles. So let's now look at how to import those. So the 2 files that you see here, one journal article, one reference, I had imported them previously into the project. As you can see here, the files have also been classified. The first one as a journal article, the second one as a reference. So if you go and look under file classifications, you have reference and you have journal articles. Yeah. You can actually create new file classifications yourself. So if you go to the Create tab, here on top, the Create tab, File Classification, you can create a new classification, or you can add one or more predefined classifications to the project. So maybe we can also see if there's a category newspaper article. Yeah, so we have also collected newspaper articles. We have this article from the Los Angeles Times, for instance. So let's click on OK. And then you will see that it appears as a third possible file classification under file classifications. Yeah, so now, once the files have been imported, we will be able to classify them under one of these classifications. So let's go to import now. We'll start with the easiest, that's the journal article. So import files. Now we're going to import files. You click on files. You are going to locate the articles on your computer. So in my case, they were under documents and NVivo exercise. So I have 6. I can select them together. And if you click then on import, it will be imported. There is an option here to tick this box that says create a case for each imported file. So suppose that each of these files is also a unit of analysis in your study. So this you would have, for instance, when you have interview transcripts with particular individual respondents, and then each of these interview transcripts would relate to one particular case in your project. Then you can tick this box and it will automatically also create cases for these files, which is not useful here because these articles as such, they do not match with our units of analysis. Here, the cases that I defined in this project are countries. So we want to look for different countries, what the impact of COVID-19 crisis on poverty has been. Yeah. So we don't tick this box, we just import, and now it's going to import all the 6 journal articles. Yeah. You see this first one, Abiyat. This one was already in there, had been previously imported. So it appears twice. If you want to delete the redundant one, you right click. So it's a right click on the title and you can here delete it. So we're not interested in having doubles. So what we can do now is first classify these sources. So look here under classification. So the one that was already in there as a journal article, as a reference. So if we hold the control button, we can just select all these 5 together. we right-click, and then you can go to classification. You can see that you have the different options there. So we classify these as journal articles. Yeah. So as explained before, this can be important if afterwards you want to retrieve certain information in particular types of files only. Now, let's import the web content. So as I said, there is this NCapture feature. So you click on NCapture, and then you have to locate this captured content, and it's located in your downloads. Yeah, so here my downloads are located here in users, downloads. Okay. So now you have to select the ones that you want to import. So let's just deselect. I select the 3 last ones because these are the ones I have just captured, right? So I select the 3 last ones and I click on import. And it gives me an alert. So this is a security alert from my antivirus. So let me just have a look and maybe disable the antivirus for a moment. Okay, I've now disabled my antivirus. So let me select these 3 again and try to import them. Okay, and there they are. So this article you see is the one I just we've captured from the Los Angeles Times. So we actually want to classify this as a newspaper article. So again, right-click, go to classification, and then file classification, newspaper article. Okay, this one is from the UNCTAD website. This one is from World Economic Forum. So these are no newspaper articles. You can classify them otherwise. So this, of course, depends on what you're interested in your particular project. Okay, so we have now 10 different files. There's actually another way also to organize your files. You can create folders under files. So that might also be handy, especially if you have large volumes of data to create subfolders. So if you right-click on files, so go to files, you right-click on files, you can actually make a new folder. So if we use the same classification here, journal article, yeah, then we can again select these 6 and just drag them to this folder, journal articles. So this is also another way of organizing your files, and it will also enable you later to, for instance, ask this question of what or how was the issue of poverty impact portrayed in journal articles versus how was it portrayed in newspaper articles. So we have imported and organized our files now, and we have classified them. So as I said, you can create new file classifications if you want. And in terms of the files, you can see here a whole range of different sources you can import from. And if you're used to using these programs, you can experiment with those.